Dead as a Doornail, Book 6 of the Stan Kraychik Mysteries. Author, Grant Michaels. Publisher, St. Martin's Press, New York. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 33. I arrive at SEKS and head down to the workout floor. I'm supposed to be Chip Holton. I tell the guy at the desk why I'm there, and he tells me Chip is just finishing up with a client. Then he tells me where to go change. Into what? I say. Don't you have workout gear? Not yet. I don't know how serious I'm going to get about this. You can't work out without gear, he says. Go see Jason in the sports shop. He'll fix you up. Sure enough, big bosomed Jason shows me exactly what minimum attire I'll need for kindergarten entry into the exalted academy of bodybuilding. It's basically black sweatpants, black sweatshirt, white socks, and black leather cross trainers. Meanwhile, I wonder if I'll ever look like Jason, who is wearing a slate gray pec pouch to great advantage. As he tallies up the merchandise, his big breasts jump around in their elastic vessel. And then he tells me that my starter kit of workout gear will cost $279. But there's no sales tax, he says with a big grin. I tell him maybe I'll just walk my way through the introductory workout with what I'm wearing. Jason tells me street clothes aren't allowed on the workout floor. I find a pair of plain gray gym shorts marked reduced final reduction and priced at $35. No redundancy there. You'll need a shirt too, he says with a sneer. I say, I'm wearing a clean white t-shirt, clean panties, and clean white socks. Want a sniff? Suit yourself, he says. Doll, at these prices I could. What about shoes, says Jason, unamused. What about these, I say, and show him my white canvas tinnies. He orders me to show him the soles. I do. It kills him to admit, at least they're non-marring. I put the shorts on my credit card, half expecting Jason to tell me there's a $10,000 minimum for a charge sale. Instead, he tells me that sale merchandise is non-refundable. I tell him I'm not so sure that I'll be back either. I open a door marked boys, which leads to the men's locker room. The first thing in there is the smell. It's a blend of soap and super sanitized terry cloth, carried by warm, misty air. Oddly, there is no hint of randy, pungent sweat anywhere, or of any expensive colognes. Maybe these guys scrub down before and after they work out. They sure look smooth and clean, and do they shave everywhere? I mean, I'm naturally smooth-skinned, but I do know there's a gamut of male body hair ranging from porpoise, sleek, to ursine furry. Yet these guys all look the same, right down to the identically coiffed tuft around their pubes. Some barber in town has an interesting job. The locker room is very quiet, the silence broken by an occasional rush of water from a sink, as the sound of showers running somewhere within, or an occasional murmured comment about the grueling sacrifices of diet and a strict worked-out schedule. One by one, as I seek out an empty locker, the boys glance at me, evaluate me within seconds, and see that I offer no threat to their rarefied enclave. Then they look away, utterly uninterested. At least they don't laugh out loud the way they did in 7th grade. When I emerge from the locker room, I see someone vanish into the girls' room, almost like an apparition, momentarily infused with the testosterone-laden air of the boys' room. I forget that SEKS is a mixed gym. Still, I swear the person going into the girls' room was Angie, the hairdresser. I hear someone call my name, and it's Chip Holton. He comes toward me, and his eyes are glued to my legs. For all my physique-related shortcomings, my legs and feet are good. The legs are typically Slavic, long, full-muscled, and naturally powerful, and my feet are broad and highly arched, with a built-in springiness that allows me to jump soundlessly like a dancer. For his part, Chip is sporting a stylish new haircut. It looks good, and I tell him so. Actually, I tell him that he looks good. Chip takes the compliment in his stride. What else can a god do? and he explains how he set up a barter deal with one of his new clients. Now, I'm certain it was Angie who went into the girls' room. Chip suggests I start out with machines rather than free weights. He tells me I'll condition up fast with less risk of injury, and I'll learn good form too. Fine with me. We start with leg presses. He gets into the machine and shows me how it works. As he executes the proper movements, he explains it all muscle by muscle and bone by bone. Meanwhile, I glance occasionally toward the girls' room in case Angie comes out. Next thing I know, Chip is out of the machine, resetting it to baby level. He wipes the cushions with a small towel, which he then jams partway into a pocket in his sweatpants. Sweatpants with pockets? Maybe they're custom made, courtesy of Jason, the garment monger. Did you get all that? Says Chip. Sure, I say, though I barely heard a word. I climb into the machine, my eyes still looking toward the girls' room. Chip kneels beside me and prepares me with the thoroughness of a NASA shuttle launch. Then finally, after another excruciating explanation of levers, momentum, and quantum physics, he orders me to push. I do as I'm told, and I basically send the machine into orbit. The resulting metallic clink resonates throughout the gym, and various priests and priestesses look our way to see what has caused the ruckus upset. Jesus, says Chip, you're strong. It's genetic, I say. Angie has still not come out of the girls' room. We move on to leg curls. Chip lies face down on the bench and displays his fine backside to full advantage. But I'm not ready for what happens when he does the exercise. To begin with, his ass clenches. Okay, I'm old enough to understand that. But then as he lies there on his belly explaining which muscles are being activated by the exercise, like I can't see, dog, his butt gets bigger. Like it's growing, and finally, when he gives the extra push to complete the exercise, his muscle-ridden ass rises upward and lurches directly at me like some kind of 3D movie effect. The bubble butt from Planet Yum Yum. Meanwhile, Chip is yammering on about levers and fulcrums, all of them with Latin names. These guys just can't get out of church. All I want to do is dive in and chew. Okay, he says, sliding off the machine. Your turn. I cast another glance toward the girls' room just as someone emerges, but it's not Angie. You ready? Says Chip. T-minus 10 and counting, I say. Now, this is the truth. I get myself settled on the bench, lying belly down. Then Chip moves away from my head. The next thing I feel are his firm, heavy thighs straddling my waist. Or where my waist would be if I had one. It's like he's going to sit down on my lower back. I look over my shoulder and see that he's facing away from me with his meaty butt hovering just inches over my back. What are you doing? I say. He turns his head to face me. I'm holding you down. Then he turns away and puts his two hands on the backs of my thighs and presses down. You want to keep all of this still. Chip's hands are strong and they are guided by an unerring knowledge of muscles. But there is no warmth coming from them. They feel remote, not like his thighs. His thighs are saying, hello. He says, okay, ready, pull. I pull my calves up toward my bum and try to imagine myself looking as magnificent as he did. Hold it there, he says. Then he actually, and this is the truth, honest, he actually pushes down on my ass. Don't let this come up, he says. His hands are very strong, very convincing. Yours was up, I say. Then I'd better check my form. His hands release their hold on my bum. Okay, he says. Let him down easy. Breathe now. One more time. Pull! Again I pull my calves up, and again his hands are grabbing my ass. Keep this down, he says. He gives my nether cheeks a light slap, then grabs hold of them again. Down, he says, squeezing my ass with a strong, pulsing rhythm. I say, you keep kneading bread back there, and something's going to rise on the other side. I bounce my bum up and down a few times, which nudges Chip right between the legs. Hey, he says, pulling his hands away quickly. None of that. Okay for you to grope, though. Meanwhile, the priests and priestesses haven't noticed our antics. Or maybe they have and they don't care. Maybe a round of Ride 'em Cowboy is just business as usual for Chip, the straight personal trainer. He dismounts quickly from the bench, and my body, as he does so, he slaps my butt playfully. Yes, no, stay, go. Methinks this guy might be a mess. I lift myself off the bench, relieved that my arousal was only a passing notion and not an actual fact. I glance toward the girls' room once more, and Chip catches me. You looking for someone? He says. I thought I saw someone I know. You'll get to see a lot of people here. Didn't you tell me people come here so they won't be seen? Right, says Chip, but not by the wrong people. Huh? As we head toward the quad machine, I ask Chip if he ever met Tim Shanasi. Chip says, you already asked me that once. I did. You sure did, he says. You mean that kid who had the accident, right? It wasn't an accident, I say. I thought that's what the police said. I tell him. And they changed their mind a lot. So you never met him? No, says Chip. Why? Well, you know Thorne, and Thorne knew Tim. So I figured maybe your paths crossed sometime. No, says Chip. Say, did I tell you I want to start a restaurant? You mentioned it. Have you thought about investing? Investing? Chip says. You told me you had some money, so I wondered if you wanted to be an investor. You want money from me? Not a handout, he says. It's more like business partners. But I'm gay. Chip gives me a big brotherly smile. I'm not asking you to marry me, I'm talking business. Some people say being in business is like being married. He says, but instead of love, it's money. The smile is still there. You're serious, I say. You bet, says Chip. For business, always, just don't get the wrong idea. Not at all, doll, not with you and those wandering hands. I ask, where are you planning to open this restaurant? He says, I'd like to do it in the South End. The neighborhood is not exactly a dining wasteland. There's always room for a new hotspot. I ask, do you have a place in mind? Are you offering one? You mean my guest house? Why not, says Chip. It's a great location for a restaurant. After the recent events, I'm not sure people will be too eager to eat there or even stay there. I think it'll work in our favor, says Chip. I think the accident will help business. People will be attracted to the place because of it. The guy could be right. You never know what morbid fact or event will create audience appeal. I ask, have you raised any money yourself? I'm going to do some modeling. Modeling? Don't say it like that, he says. I'm through with Thorne and that kind of thing. What kind of thing? How does he know what I know? Chip says, I work hard on my body and I'd like to get something in return. I don't do competitions because I don't go for the bulk. I don't like that look. I see myself more like an artist who seeks perfect line and proportion. You hold on to those aesthetics, Chip. The only thing left, he says, is to do a little photo work. Nothing sexy, I mean that. I just want to give the ladies something nice to look at. Like your hands. He smiles, but doesn't answer. By the time we progress to the upper body area of the gym, it's clear that I'll never be a bodybuilder. Not even a novatee. But I am intrigued that a straight personal trainer would come on to me, first by squeezing my butt a few times, and then by approaching me for money. There's no telling what Chip Holton wouldn't do to get what he wants. I tell him there's no need to continue with the workout. He tells me not to decide too quickly, but it's up to me if I want to leave now, with the workout half finished. There's something patronizing about his tone, though like he's trying hard not to say, quitter! So what if yet another straight man deems me a wimp? Then Chip reminds me not to loiter in the shower room. I go and put my pants and shirt back on. I almost throw the gym shorts into the trash, but I realize they'll make an excellent polishing cloth. Before I leave, I offer Chip a $20 tip, but he refuses, maintaining that we had an agreement for a complimentary workout, and that means no money. Period. I still can't figure this guy's business ethics. Outside SEKS, I hang around a while, hoping to see Angie come out, but I'm sure I've missed her exit. Probably when Chip was giving my backsides the twice over. So I head back home, cutting through the South End business area. Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold: to offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides, and in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.